Kansas, where the future waits for you. The future waits for you. It's Kansas forever, and wherever I may roam, I'll see those wide open spaces and know that Kansas is home.
Kiss me while you can, boys. I'm bidding you
Farewell.
farewell. I'm bidding you farewell.
Oh, but not there. You can't leave us yet. There's still a short shoot contest. Hold Hobson tough. If we lose, the bank's gonna foreclose on the schoolhouse.
I thought for sure that masked gunslinger would save the day.
No, Rob Hunt got put in jail for robbing with the railroad tycoons and giving the money back to the farmers.
What do you say to that, Madam Marion?
I just hold our horses for 1 second.
Hold your horses for 1 second. I see someone taking aim at this here target.
But he can't win. There's already a bullet smack dab in the middle of the bullseye.
Why, he shot the other bullet in half.
No, not quite yet.
Why, he shot that other bullet in half.
Look, it's Rob Hood.
Why, I wonder what face belongs to those lips I long to kiss.
This face.
I can't believe all this peace like so crazy about. I thought you were all done with us.
Not when I finally found myself a home, a place where I belong, keeping company with the people I care the most about.
You came to us a stranger, rid this place of crime, and gave us a new hope within ourselves. That's gonna be one tough act to follow.
Well, how's this? Will you be my lawful wedded wife, Miss Nancy?
Oh, yes, I will.
Ding dong, ding dong. Ding dong, ding dong. Wide open spaces, everywhere I look I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for me.
It's Kansas forever.
And wherever I may roam, I'll see those wide open spaces and know that Kansas is home. K-A-N-S-A-S, USA!
Get out of my way! Get out of my way! This entire evening was shambles! I don't even know what I'm doing in the show anymore. So we noticed. There was a man in the front row who kept waving his hands at me.
That was the conductor.
Wide open spaces, everywhere I look I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for you and me.
It's Kansas forever.
And wherever I may roam, I see those wide open spaces and know that Kansas is home. K-A-N-S-A-S, USA.
It's okay, she's got a pulse.
That's the first time she's ever kept a beat.
Randy, can you help carry her? Why not? I've been carrying her all night.
my goodness.
Holy Mother in Heaven!
Holy crap!
What? The reviews aren't good? Oh, what don't they like?
That we put on a show?
The Boston Globe says, if you loved Oklahoma, stay there as long as Robin Hood's running in Boston.
How about calls to mind Walt Disney's Pinocchio, because its star is wooden, ought to be hung by a piano wire, and swallowed by the first whale that enters Boston Harbor.
Who said that?
The Christian Science Monitor.
Look, Carmen, you're the producer. I sunk last year's profits into my 1958 lingerie line into this show. There's got to be something in the papers we can use.
Let me consult with the writing team. Aaron, Georgia, does debacle have two meanings?
No.
Well, that's a shame. Critics, who'd make a living by killing other people's dreams? I mean, what kind of man would take a job like that?
What kind of slob would take a job like that? Who could be mean enough, base and obscene enough to take a job like that?
Wait a minute, here's something in the Herald that might be good.
Formerly married composer and lyricist Aaron Fox and Georgia Hendricks have provided film star Jessica Cranshaw with the star vehicle that ought to be driven off a cliff.
What kind of mom would raise her boy like that?
Who'd want her baby to destroy like that? Who could be jerking enough, hard up for work enough to want a job like that? Ooh, what kind of low down dirty bum? Ooh, what kind of swinish scurvy scum? Loathsome as they come, I wonder.
What kind of man would take a job like that?
What kind of putz would make you nuts like that? Who could be thick enough, mentally sick enough? Who'd want to grow to be everyone's enemy? Critics are hated and so excoriated. Tell me what kind of man would want a job like?
Hey, get a load of this! The Cambridge Patriot says, considering the talent of this experience and the veterans involved, Robin Hood is sure to be a huge Broadway smash.
What kind of genius has a mind like that? So perspicacious, wise and kind like that. Far from his mother's knee, she must be thrilled to see how he grew up to be such brilliant company. Refined and reflective, we're completely objective, but it lifts up your heart to meet a man like that.
Yeah, well, that's all well and good. But the Cambridge Patriot is not the Boston Globe. The Globe is the review we needed.
It's funny none of them mentioned Jessica fainting.
She fainted during the bows, when the critics dash out of the theater to dash off their postmortems. Let's face it, we've gotten our notices and we've been given notice.
I'm afraid you're right.
No. You two are just oversensitive because you wrote the show. This is only round one. The first show my husband and I produced was savaged out of town. But we rolled up our sleeves, did major rewrites, and brought it to Broadway. That show, my friends, was Kiss Me, I'm Irish. Closed before the audience could open their playbills, but the point is, this is a Sidney and Carmen Bernstein production. We decide if it goes to New York, not Daryl Grady of the Boston Globe.
So we're still shooting for Broadway.
Aaron, Georgia, you keep writing tunes that bounce. Oscar, you keep writing checks that don't.
Very nice, but until our leading lady gets out of the hospital, who knows what will happen next?
They only have her under observation. I'm sure she'll be out by the morning.
Is there no limit?
Oh, that sounds like our director.
Is there no limit?
He got such awful reviews.
Is there no limit? I ask you to my unbridled brilliance. Chris, where were you tonight? I've put a lot of money into the show, and as our director, you owed us the
Oh, be still your foolish mouth. Nothing to be gleaned by watching one show with the fraudulent audience of an opening night. Went for a walk, past the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, went in, wildly spiritual. I tell you, those Catholics really do know how to put on a show. And right there in the middle of the Eucharist, I had an epiphany. At this stage in the life of any show, one should refrain from inventing anything brilliant, rather eliminate all that's awful. What, I ask, without fear of contradiction, was the most god-awful part of our show?
Jessica.
Jessica, of course. Carmen, I came back here to convince you to get rid of our star. Only to have the cast inform me she's in the hospital. I see the hand of the Lord in this.
Bernstein, there's a call waiting for you in your office.
Thanks, Joni. That's probably my husband calling.
And Carmen, where was Sydney tonight?
Oh, Sydney's in New York booking a theater for the show. And also knowing my husband, he's booking a soprano who can't dance but knows how to move.
At least she can joke about it.
Oh, well, it's easy to joke about marriage when men like Sydney and you don't take it seriously.
There's no comparison. I never did more than flirt with any woman in any cast once you and I got married.
Barbara O'Brien.
She was an usher. And that was after you moved out.
Oh, so you finally looked up from your music and noticed I was gone.
Johnny, you're the stage manager. How's the cast taking the reviews?
Well, they decided to dress to the nines and throw a combination opening and closing night party.
Defeatist, the lot of you. You've yet to hear my plan of action, but hit it ye shall. Johnny, Joni, come and help me watch you move the piano.
What plan? Do you think he wants us to go to Broadway using an understudy?
No, at least we'll still have Bobby in the title role.
Oh yeah, that's what matters, right? I mean, the whole reason you decided to team up with me again was so that you could rekindle a romance with our leading man.
Aaron, when I signed up, I had no idea Bobby was even in the show.
Then why, at our very first rehearsal, did you walk right up to him and say,
What? Hi, Bobby?
Hey, sweetie. Well, looks like we're all going to be heading back to New York a little sooner than we thought, but if you and I are going back together, this is one flop that's a big hit with me.
Eh bien, mes enfants, a brief demonstration of what's been wrong with our show from the very first love song.
You mean, thinking of him, that's my best song in the show.
Our best song.
See, Georgia agrees with me.
Nonetheless, I've had a problem with it since our very first day of rehearsal. Sasha.
Which one's Sasha?
Who cares? One of them translates and the other conducts. They can decide for themselves. Prepare thinking of him. Thinking of him.
I don't think that's an exact translation.
Dear Lord, never mind, Sasha. Aaron, can you do this for me?
What?
Never mind. Aaron. Never mind! Aaron!
Right, I'm on it. Crochet!
Okay!
Georgia, sing our leading lady's opening number.
Which song is this?
The one with the new lyric Georgia wrote about me.
About Rob Hood.
Precisely. Aaron, play. Georgia, sing. Joni, put her in Like You 5.
Like Q5? This is silly. I haven't sung on a stage in years.
Just sing.
Thinking of him. Thinking of him. Sometimes it seems I spend every moment of my waking day thinking of him, making him laugh, Sometimes making him strong, sometimes making him feel someplace in the light is his, telling him just how special he is, thinking of him, telling the truth when nobody's willing to tell him the truth, fighting for him, living for him, thinking it over, that's what I think I do. Well, isn't it time? Isn't it high time? I was thinking of me too.
Maybe it's time.
Maybe it's high time. You were thinking of you.
Thinking of me too.
Well done, Georgia.
Gee, I finally hear how that song was meant to go.
Listen, Chris, if you say there's been something wrong with that song since our first rehearsal, you'll have to tell me what.
Well, it's that we ever allowed Jessica Crenshaw to sing it. Now look here, everyone. I do think it's a crying shame our leading lady collapsed tonight's performance. She could have done it a few weeks ago and saved us some other misery, but the cavity that Jessica has created must be appropriately filled.
May I speak? As Jessica's understudy, I would feel terrible taking over under these circumstances.
No need to feel terrible, Nikki.
But
No need, because you're still going to be the understudy to Georgia.
She
Best
hasn't
idea
danced
you've
in
ever
years.
had.
I don't know, Chris.
You know the score and the scripts better than anyone else. You sing the songs from your heart because that's where they came from. Now, I realize it's been quite some time since you've traded in your tap shoes for a rhyming.
Excuse me, but speaking on behalf of the chorus, I really think Nikki should get the part. I mean, she's talented, dedicated.
And since you're Nikki's understudy, if she gets the lead, you get her part.
Well, yes, that too.
Nice try, Bambi, but either George is in or I'm out. What do you say, Oscar?
Chris, I'll put my money where your mouth is.
Launder it first. Aaron, I assume this move more than meets with your approval.
Well, no, to be honest, it doesn't.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence.
I have my reasons.
You always have.
Besides, this entire debate is pointless if Jessica shows up tomorrow.
Oh, heaven help us. Her performance was worse than ever this evening.
Jessica Cranshaw will never be better than she was this evening.
But she was horrible.
I know, but she'll never be better. She is dead. That was the hospital on the phone. In terms of future performance, Jessica Cranshaw now has a conflict.
What happened?
They wouldn't tell me.
Chris, do you want to say something to the company about Jessica?
Shall we observe a minute of silence to match the audience's response to Jessica's first number?
Chris!
Well, all right. Let's form a semicircle, boy, girl. Tallest on the inside. No, Bambi, you're blocking the whole left side of the house. People, Jessica was part of our company, and now we part company. But I am sure we shall all remember her in our thoughts and in our resumes. And now, as thespians, I know you'd like to display your sorrow both as a tribute and as an acting exercise. Sasha, F sharp minor.
Go tell her fans to change their plans, the woman's dead.
Would someone care to say a prayer?
Who might that be?
Don't look at me.
The woman's dead.
clone the coop, and now our troop is minus one.
She sing each word the angels heard. They closed her mouth and shipped her south. The woman's
She was a witch,
And under pitch.
and now she's dead.
Our star is dead.
She had no voice.
She read no books.
She had no brain, she just had looks.
And now she's dead.
woman's dead.
Woman's
Taking 10 till God knows when the woman's dead.
That's right, she's dead.
skies are blue.
Her lips are too.
See for yourself. It's like I said. The woman's definitely positively. Excuse me, I'm Lieutenant Frank Sharpie of the Greater Boston Police Department. I'm assigned to the Homicide Division, and oh, it's an honor to be standing on the same stage with each and every one of you. Hope I'm not interrupting a rehearsal. Let me assure you, I don't want my own work to delay this production from reaching the home on Broadway it genuinely deserves. I happened to see Robin Hood in previews, and may I say that with the exception of the deceased Miss Cranshaw, you're all just wonderful performers. And what a great score.
Well, I appreciate that, Lieutenant.
On behalf of my half of that compliment, thanks as well.
I've starred in a little community theater myself. Oh, no, nothing that fancy. Although my Billy Bigelow at the Brooklyn Barnhouse got a favorable review. And in A Midsummer Night's Dream, my bottom was very well received.
Wait a moment. You say that you're from Homicide?
Well, yes. Based on a preliminary autopsy, it's clear that Jessica Cranshaw was murdered.
And what are they going to do with their killer? I mean, does he get some sort of trophy or a Pontiac convertible?
Chris!
Sorry, pure reflex.
What killed her?
Hydrocyanic acid, commonly used in electroplating as well as the gas chamber in San Quentin. It was in capsule form, which is why no one realized she'd been poisoned until after the capsules dissolved in her stomach, creating her own personal gas
Oh,
chamber.
stop, that's horrible.
Working back from when the capsules dissolved, we know she swallowed them in the very final minutes of this evening's performance.
Couldn't she have poisoned herself?
Trauma at the back of the throat suggests she didn't take the capsules voluntarily. Now, may I ask who's in charge here other than myself?
Permit me, Lieutenant. I am the critically acclaimed Director Christopher Belling, and I will be blocking your investigation.
Well, I hope that's not the case. But if you need to wrap things up to your cast, please go right ahead.
Very good company. I know you'll give Georgia your support as she steps into the late Mrs. Crenshaw's shoes.
That's brilliant.
As one would expect from me. Everyone ready to press forward with Robin Hood and Georgia? Give me a show of hands.
That's it? Listen, people, life is full of setbacks and disappointments. But with Georgia taking over as the lead, we've got ourselves a real shot. This show is going on. Are you with me, gang?
You know, if we leave now, we can catch the last train to New York.
Stop! It's clear that every one of you is in perfect physical condition, so the show must go on.
Why?
Because, as old as time itself, there's a grand theatrical tradition that the show must go on.
Forget it.
I've got a contract. You signed a contract. Go read your contract, and I will count to 10, and then I'll sue you. Oh yes, I'll sue you. And when I'll sue you, you'll never work again.
Who's the equity representative?
I am! Miss Bernstein is equity deputy. I must warn you. Any further threats and you'll be brought up on charges.
Oh, shut up, Elaine.
The name's Bambi. Mother.
All right! Let's put it this way. For the backer's sake, I'm asking your permission to let the show go on.
No!
The show must go on.
Not a chance.
The show must go on.
Why?
Because I say the show must go on.
No way!
I can't believe I'm hearing this. I won't believe it. Putting on a musical has got to be the most fulfilling thing a person could ever hope to do. You people, you're all heroes to me. You're a special kind of people known as show people. You live in a world of your own. The audience paid plenty to sit there and clap, hearing you sing, watching you tap. Did you know your dentist longs to be in show business? Your window washer wants to be a star. And though your analyst may never couch it that way,
Analyst, couch?
you don't know how lucky you are. Some policemen and detectives dream of show business. They can't get arrested, but still, they sit around the station and fancy this life. They jeer Sherlock Holmes and cheer Mac the Knife.
Ask her cleaning lady, don't you dream of show business? Vocalize or stretch beside a bar.
Her affirmative shrug as she shampoos your rug lets you know how lucky you are. There's a special kind of aura around a show person.
Just ask the next waiter you meet.
Walks in fifth position, his voice is just grand.
He gives you the check, you give him a hand. If the boys in Valley Parking turn to show business, they can stop behind your ticket for your car.
And my tree surgeon now started taking a bow. Get it? B-O-U.
Don't you know how lucky you are? We're a special kind of people known as show people. We live in a world of our own. Our days are tied to curtains, they rise and they fall. We're born every night at half-hour call. We can't picture being anything but show people. Civilians find the whole thing quite bizarre. Was that hope in our hearts when the overture starts? Want to know how lucky we are.
Show people!
really should go on.
Lieutenant? Lieutenant! Oh, Lieutenant, may I speak to you for a moment? My name is Nikki
Harris. Miss Nikki Harris, I read your bio several times through on the bus ride home the other night. And may I say, I found your performance particularly memorable. It was lovely.
Oh, well, thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I'm crazy about your little vibrato.
You're very kind. Oh, yesterday, Miss Cranshaw asked me to coach her on some of her lines, and of course I said I'd be glad to help her. But,
That's so like you.
well, I am her understudy. At least I was. I guess I'm George's now. But then these 3 letters fell out of Miss Cranshaw's script. She didn't take them very seriously, but I kept them. I'm afraid my fingerprints are all over them. They're death threats! See? The words and letters have been cut and pasted onto the paper from a newspaper or some sort of magazine. I would imagine.
You're murdering the score, but I'll murder you. You'll drop before the curtain does. If you don't quit, you'll die legit.
Can you tell anything from them?
Well, they seem pretty negative in spirit. Really?
Well, yes, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you hoping for the whole Arthur Conan Doyle version? I'm sorry, but these notes reveal very little, except that the person who sent them is a man in his early 30s, 6'4" in height, wears a pewter ring, served in the Merchant Marine, and despite being right-handed, is known to his closest friends as Lefty.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
However, did you know that?
Oh, I don't. I was just saying you probably hoped I could be able to do that. I mean, if I could do that, wow.
Gee, for a second I was impressed. Well, what do you say we all go across the street and have a slobber knocker of a wait for the late, if less than great, Miss Jessica Cranshaw. Drinks on me!
This theater is quarantined. I have men posted at all the exits, and none of you can leave. What?
What?
You know,
We have a
yes,
right.
the entire company and crew will be living right here until further notice. Emergency services will bring in cots and meals.
Wait a minute. The talented members of this cast are entitled to a day off.
The talented members. And even you, Elaine.
Well, tell me if I'm wrong here, but to the best of my recollection, Jessica Cranshaw never left the show during this show's last 10 minutes. You know, if so, then I'm sorry, but she must have been murdered by one of you. I've never had a case with this many suspects, and I can't have you followed around the clock. I better keep you here under lock and key until I solve this crime.
You're taking the law into your own hands, Chaffee.
That's sort of what I'm paid to do. I mean, that's why I have my own badge and a gun. Anyway, being sequestered here will let you focus on fixing the show.
Fixing?
Keep your hands off me, you hear?
Who's that?
Sounds like my husband on his best behavior.
I guess he left New York.
Lucky New York.
Oh, this is just peachy. We all waited for him.
Good evening, Mr. Bernstein.
I'm still wearing my coat.
That's not my contract, Mr. Bernstein.
Sydney, it's been an awful night.
I hear you, Chris.
And I'm turning in my resignation.
I can't hear you, Chris. How you holding up, Oscar? Oh, can't complain. But that's right, kick pants.
Welcome back to Boston, Sydney.
Well, hello.
It's me, Sydney, your stepdaughter.
Sorry about that, Fawn.
It's Bambi.
And last of the least, Mrs. B, my junior partner, and bless her half.
What is it you want, Sydney?
Oh, you expect me to be angry? See, I leave you in charge of opening night, and I come back to a murdered leading lady, deadly reviews, and a bunch of cops telling me I can't leave the theater!
Well, it appears you've arrived at the wrong time for you and just the right time for me, Mr. Bernstein.
Excuse me?
Lieutenant Frank Choppy, homicide. Now, folks, I'd like you to go about your various tasks just as if this wasn't the scene of a homicide. Detective McNichols is waiting downstairs for your pertinent information. I'd like each of you to give him your name, address, and 8x10 glossy. I'll be speaking with you all in the morning. Pleasant dreams, everyone.
I can't be a suspect. I was in Manhattan when Jessica was murdered.
Can you prove that?
Well, it just so happens I was keeping company with a young actress on Sutton Place. Of course, if I give you her name, it could ruin her reputation.
Well, your chivalry is touchingly convenient.
Lieutenant, I have many influential friends in New York City.
Too bad you're in Boston.
Will you be wanting me any further, Lieutenant?
No, but I do have some questions for your boyfriend.
I don't have a boyfriend.
Oh, gosh. Actually, I'd like you to take you into my confidence regarding this investigation.
Why is that, Lieutenant?
Because if I don't, then there's really no reason for us to keep talking.
Well, then take me into your confidence with confidence, Lieutenant.
You know, something seems very wrong here. I just met an opening night cast that seemed incredibly eager to close.
Well, I can understand how they might feel. They all gave up wonderful jobs and hit Broadway musicals to work up here in Boston. I've never performed outside of this city, and Bambi's had to fight her mother at every step just to be in the chorus. The rest of the cast are underpaid and overworked, though surely not enough to drive any of them to murder.
Well, keep in mind, I'm within arm's reach at any hour of the day or night.
Do you think I'm in some danger?
No, that was a completely unrelated thought.
You live with danger on a daily basis, don't you, Lieutenant?
Oh, most days it's just paperwork and procedure. Detectives have no opening night, Miss Harris. We make our entrance after the curtain has fallen on someone else's life.
But it's a calling, isn't it? Like a doctor or a teacher.
Or an actor.
I suppose you're right. I can't imagine doing anything else with my life. It's not wrong to be married to one's work, is it?
No. No, not at all. But it's no honeymoon either. I love my job. I really do. And if I say so myself, I'm good at it too. I catch the bad guys, well, most of the time. So it's a good life, a perfectly good life, not exactly sublime. When I've finished my work and I crawl into bed, I reflect as I turn out the lights that the day that's to come and the week that's ahead will be lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. Lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
Well, it's reassuring to have such a dependable schedule, like matinees every Wednesday.
Or brisket and broad beans each Thursday.
With your friends.
With my, yeah. You know, I like my pals. The guys on the force. We're not very social. They're all married, of course. Sometimes we go bowling or have a few beers. So it's a fine life, a perfectly fine life. I'd give it 2 cheers. 'Cause sometimes I think at the end of the day, when I've read the last burglar his rights, that the life that I lead, it's a little bit gray, with its lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. Lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights.
But your acting roles, don't they make for a change?
Oh, Miss Harris, each year from May 23rd to the 12th of June, when I turn my life over to the Swallow Street Players, that's more than a vacation for me. That's an overture of hope. It's the curtain rising on the greatest joy of my life. But the rest of the year, the life that I lead, it's a little bit gray. There are plenty of low days and not many highs. Mostly lunch counter mornings and coffee shop nights. I don't want to seem too forward, but might I walk you home?
Oh, I'd be delighted. But you said we weren't allowed to leave.
Damn. Don't stay on top of the turns.
Feet off the ground. Your heart will pound. Feet off the ground. Your heart will pound. Feet off the ground. Your heart will pound.
Stop! I'm sorry, you're all being very patient, but I can't do this.
Honey, I've seen you do this.
In a previous life.
Would someone like me to try?
I promise you they'll adore you almost as much as I do.
I can go from a grand jeté right into a split.
And you're looking just great.
Impossible, I know, but somehow I do it.
If one of you is the killer, could you please take her next?
Folks, Detective O'Farrell is here with the last delivery of clothes from your hotel rooms. Claim your bundle downstairs.
In 1/2 hour, Lieutenant Chaffee will begin questioning altos and tenors.
Ah, Herr Lieutenant, rising from your interrogation chamber to grace us with your presence.
Thought I'd stretch my legs. I've been stuck in the green room all day.
Well, at least you got to sleep in your own bed last night.
Oh, sorry about that.
You don't I, Lieutenant?
Yes, Mr. Belling. As both a director and a suspect.
Lieutenant, I got what you wanted.
Oh, thank you. And did you pick out the clothes for Nikki Harris like I asked you to?
Yes, sir. Blues and green, just like you said. You trying to set some kind of trap for her?
No, I'm trying to match her eyes.
What's up? We're right in the barbershop.
Excuse me, Lieutenant Frank Chaffee, homicide. Do you mind telling me who you are and how you got in here?
As a member of the press, I'm exempt from your quarantine, Lieutenant. Daryl Grady, Boston Globe.
After the review you gave Robin Hood, I can't imagine why you'd show your face here of all places.
Well, I'm as mystified as you. The show's producers called and asked me to pay a visit.
That's right. Carmen Bernstein, Mr. Grady. You have our thanks for coming by, if not for your review.
Listen, I tried my level best to say something good about your production. I praised the choreography and that young lady who played the school marm, Nikki...
Harris.
Well, I'm afraid it's all history now. My condolences on the loss of your star and your show.
I told you when you interviewed me last week that we're going to Broadway no matter what you wrote about us.
We're keeping Robin Hood open, and once we've ironed out the kinks, we're asking you to review it again with Georgia Hendricks as the lead.
Georgia Hendricks? Your lyricist. She hasn't been in a show for years. That's some story. And yes, there is precedent for reappraising a show with a new lead. All right, tell you what. I'll re-review your show tomorrow night.
Whoa, tomorrow?
It's the best I can do. And to be fair, keep in mind, not many shows can survive 2 bad reviews from the Globe in 1 week.
Carmen, go tell the cast we've got 24 hours to hold a week of rehearsals. And if we fail, you'll live to regret it.
Sydney, I married you. I'm already full of regret.
Oh, good day, Lieutenant.
You just made it one, Miss Harris.
That dress goes very nicely with your eyes, Nikki.
Thank you.
Oh, and Mr. Daryl Grady, am I allowed to offer my thanks for the kind words you wrote?
Please don't misunderstand, Miss Harris, but I try not to fraternize with the artists I review. But please allow me to say you did stand down in what was otherwise an abundantly misguided production.
Mr. Grady, I thought your review of Robin Hood was needlessly cruel and way off the mark.
Well, I'm not sure that you know how to judge acting, Lieutenant.
You are the expert. However, I regret to inform you that I am now placing you under arrest for the charge of murder.
What? Are you insane?
Anything you say or do can be taken down and used against you in a court of law.
This is insane. What are you saying?
I'm saying my best lines from Agatha Christie's Murder at the Vicarage. I played Chief Inspector Slack at the Natick Town Players 2 summers ago. Gosh, did you think I was saying that for real? Well, I'm not sure you know how to judge acting, Mr. Grady. You can go now.
Come on, Grady. I'll show you to the door.
So while acting acting, Lieutenant. And I don't mean on community theater level. I mean college.
Oh, well, thank you.
And how is your investigation going, if I may ask?
I've been going over the show's financial records, and you were right. Everybody here is working for the same equity minimum. Not just newcomers like you and Bambi, but your stars as well. Listen, this is no place for us to talk. How about you and I,
You won't let me leave.
Damn.
Lieutenant, you must clear the stage immediately. I've been informed that I have less time to reinvent this show than Moses had to cross the Red Sea, and he had God on his side.
Hey, is this true?
I'm being reviewed tomorrow?
Nikki, go fetch Bambi. I have no choice but to reblock in the same boat here and now.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch this.
Why? You think something's gonna happen?
No, I just really enjoyed this number. Although...
What?
It's nothing, but...
What?
I can't believe I'm gonna say this. And shoot me with my own gun if I'm out of line.
What is it?
I don't think simply changing the choreography is gonna help. The song itself is kinda lackluster. It lacks...
Yes?
Luster. 3 women on the Arkansas River in a rowboat that's sinking fast, trying to get to the federal courthouse in Wichita before the farmers lose their land. No, great stuff. It's your 11 o'clock number. But the song itself is... I wonder, can we hear a bit of it?
Sasha. All right, ladies, sing for the lieutenant, would you? Here you go, Chaffee, just for you.
In the same boat, on the same sea, shaking inside as the tide keeps rising. Nary a ship, nary a sail, nary a soul on the whole horizon. Still we are not discouraged due to the ancient quote that you're likely to win. Take it all on the chin when you're in the same boat.
You see what I'm saying? For such a big moment in the show, it's sort of mild-mannered.
Strangely enough, I agree. We need a completely new composition, one that's catchier than Pink Eye.
Oh, you want a hit?
Yes, and not some song from one of your failed shows either, Aaron. None of your Ina Kleiner chunk music.
Listen, Chris, if you expect me to come up with anything, I'm gonna need some time alone with my piano and my writing partner.
Hey, your writing partner is now my dancing partner and the star of the show. If she doesn't get the saloon number under her belt tonight, we're all finished.
And I need to see that very number in full dress regalia this instant. Johnny, go and tell the cast to change for the Act 1 finale from behind the bars in the bar at the Barbie Bar Saloon.
Say again?
I can't say that again.
That's right. Mr. Belling's rehearsal takes priority, so those of you who need to change costume, go ahead. The rest of you, Detective O'Farrell is waiting downstairs to fingerprint the entire company. That is, unless one of you would be kind enough to explain why you committed murder. Yeah. So, let's clear the stage and give our composer the solitude that he needs. That should buy you a few minutes alone with the piano, Mr. Fox.
Alone, yeah.
Must be hard to write when your writing partner is...
Otherwise engaged?
You know, may I ask, only because I've wondered this my entire life, which one would normally come first, the music or the lyric?
Same answer as the chicken or the egg.
Ah, so it's the lyric.
No. A great melody doesn't need a lyric or a lyricist.
Then how do you start?
Well, it can start with a note, which can become a phrase, and then you try hanging words off each branch, like trimming a tree.
Sounds easy enough.
Really? Well, don't talk about love, or you'll have to say, fits like a glove, or as certain as push comes to shove, you will pine for the woman you're constantly thinking of. You see the problem?
Dangling participle. So, you suggest staying away from love?
At all costs. And don't talk about your life, or you'll have to say, cuts like a knife, or refer to the heartbreak and strife when you find that you're missing your...
Missing your...
What?
You were saying what you miss.
I miss the music. I miss the song. since she's not with me, it comes out wrong. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I've lost the music. I don't know why. You may have known before I met her, I wrote alone. But if you ask me what I prefer, I'd say the music I wrote with her. When you're writing a song and you've a partner, the room is filled with jokes and chatter. She says something, you say something. She writes a line, you play a vamp. But when you're writing a song without a partner, the room is filled with disaster. No one tells you that's not funny. No one says, let's cut that bar. No one makes you better than you are. I can't pretend I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to ask me what I prefer. I'd say the music I wrote with her. I liked the music I made with...
Aaron. Oh, sorry, am I interrupting?
No, I'm afraid I'm the guilty party here. Thank you, Mr. Fox, for all your insights. Ms. Hendricks, best of luck on your upcoming number. We'll speak later.
I forgot my own lyric. Can you believe it? Me?
Well, you're not the lyricist now, you're the star. How does it feel being back on the boards?
Terrifying. Thrilling. I missed the stage.
Come on, Angel. We got to do that away right away.
Oh, must we?
It's our last chance to land the number before we pack it in for the night. Here we go, honey.
Oh, Aaron, I'm beginning to think that you were right when you said I was wrong for this.
Georgia! Break a leg.
Thanks. You can finish the song without me?
I'm a one-man band. I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to ask me what I prefer. I choose the music I wrote with her. I loved the music I made with her.
you can, boys. I got my sights set on Rob Hood.
Well, Rob Hood just left these parts moments ago with Miss Nancy, the new schoolmarm.
Alan Odell. Ain't it funny how a cowardly lawman from back east knows so much about the man I plan to brand? I'm gonna round up that Rob Hood and hog-tie his fancy Miss Nancy. He made a getaway. He left me flat away. At times like this, a modern miss should gallop that away. When love goes this away, don't blow your bliss away. You might find out he's just about a hug and kiss away. No matter which way he takes that which way, I won't relent till he'll consent to make a switch away. If he's in Santa Fe or in Piscataway, I'll pack my gown and leave this town and travel that way.
Yeehaw!
If he's in Paraguay or even Mandalay, I'll grab my horse and set my course to reach him that way. I've known a man or two, a score or more, it's true. And if he stays or if he strays, depends on my luck. So it ain't just how you woo 'em, but how you proceed to pursue 'em.
Yeah!
If you move this way and shake it that way, there's every chance he'll see you dance and holler "Attaway!"
Attaway!
Then if you flip away, rotate your hip away. Just wait and see, I guarantee your man won't slip away. If you're the mate for him, don't sit and wait for him. It's up to you, but if you do, you'll be too late for him. If there's a spat away, don't throw his hat away. Forget that fight and hold him tight till he goes that way.
What's that music? What's that dance? What's that stirring? It's romance. Did you see that? Holy cow! What the heck do I do now?
If you move this way and shake it that way, there's every chance you'll see you dance and holler "Attaway!" Then if you flip away, rotate your hip away. Just wait and see, I guarantee your man will slip away. If you're the mate for him, don't sit and wait for him. It's up to you, but if you do, you'll be too late for him. If there's a spat away, don't throw his hat away. Forget that fight and hold him tight till he goes that way. Don't let love get away or leave you flat away. At
times like this, someone like this, I gallop this way.
This away, this away, this away. When love goes
this way.
this way,
Don't blow your bliss away.
this away.
You might find out you just find out a hug and kiss way.
And while you chat away, your eyes will bat away. Feet off the ground, your heart will pound.
Your heart will pound.
Feet off the ground, your
Heart will pound and hit a pile away.
Don't chew the fat away.
That we have but that to say. Let's run the race.
Love
Cut to the pace.
cut to the chase.
Let's all go that way. Maybe that way.
I'm heading that way.
Fantastic, Georgia, everyone.
That's worth every penny. With Georgia now, it's dynamic and uplifting, leaving the audience champing at the bit for Act 2.
All right, company, as long as we're all in our positions, I'd like to set our pose for the Act 1 curtain.
Oh, no, sorry. I've had a chance to speak with all of you, and you seem like a terrific bunch of people, but this briefcase has just turned up some very compromising evidence about one of you. I don't want to point fingers, but I do have some additional questions here for the person who...
Lieutenant! Urgent call from headquarters.
Shoot. No, Mr. Belling, just go on with whatever you were doing.
Yes, all right. As I was saying, I want to fix our pose for the Act 1.
Lights! As I thought. As you were. It appears that everyone here, except Nikki, has something to hide. And there's nothing in the briefcase, by the way, except some clam chowder from the Union Oyster House. Here you go. No. So, I've talked to all of you, made a couple of phone calls, and what do I come up with? A murder victim named Jessica Cranshaw, working for a fraction of her usual firm's salary. A distinguished director who despised the late Miss Cranshaw, yet slaves to make this production work all the same. A dancer choreographer who turns down with Balanchine to do a song and dance for spare change. Ex-partners in marriage and music who inexplicably reunite, though they no longer work together in harmony. A one-man bank named Oscar Shapiro, who despite having no prior interest in theater, sinks one payment after another into this show. And a company who celebrates when their show is torn to ribbons by the critic because it means they're at long last free to take better jobs back on Broadway. What does this tell me? That Sid Bernstein has been blackmailing every member of this company into working on this show.
Wait, you did what?
Even you dancers?
Okay, so when I was starting out, Sid Bernstein tried to make my audition a private one, but I walked away.
What about you chorus boys? I mean, what could you have possibly done that you wouldn't want the folks at home to know about?
My parents think I'm at law school.
Lieutenant, I'd like to think that most people have something about themselves that they like to keep to themselves.
Yes, I'm not here to uncover all your dark secrets. Only the one that led someone to murder Jessica Cranshaw.
People, I had no idea this was how Sydney got you all working for so cheap. He's the one who handles the negotiations.
Well, he won't be able to deal his way out of breaking the law. Folks, I've got good news. You won't be blackmailed anymore. But you're still all suspects. Now get to work, because you may have joined this show for the wrong reasons, but you're gonna press on, because you've got a contract.
And don't forget it.
And Oscar deserves a return on his investment.
Thank you.
And because the best way for me to solve this crime is to keep the heat turned up in this pressure cooker of a theater. And lastly, because this could be a really good show. Take it, Chris.
Very good. Company?
Heads up, I'm striking the set.
What? No, Johnny, I'm not finished. I still have yet to fix our pose.
Sorry.
Oh, God, never mind. Let's have the last 4 bars. Bobby.
5, 6, 7, 8.
I'm heading that way.
Why is there no curtain?
We're having a little trouble with it.
I want it closed now!
Curtain!
Johnny, Joni, close it!
Hold on!
I think it's done.
I think we fixed the curtain.
You better make it a blackout.
We will take a 15-minute intermission. It might be 20 minutes, but probably 15. Would the mother of Luca Brown please report to the director's table? And would Kristen Murray please report to the director?
man is dead. The man is dead. This is no joke, the man did croak and now he's dead. He's breathed his last. He's in the past. He's lost his race, so rest in peace, the man is dead.
I thought you did not speak English.
Oh, you can't sleep either, huh?
Knowing that someone in this company is a killer? I thought I saw our director sneaking around.
Oh, well, murder is a very British thing, isn't it? I mean, it's almost like a hobby over there.
You know, if I had to bet, I'd say he did it.
Oh.
He did it, 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 I'm sure. Although he appears with a posture that's pious, his principles hardly are pure. It isn't a stretch to believe it, that murderous motive was his. He did it, he did it, he did it, then hid it, and now he is off to a prison.
You can't sleep either, huh?
Knowing that someone in this company is a killer? I thought I saw Bambi sneaking around. You know, maybe she killed Jessica, so you'd get the lead and Bambi could get your part.
Oh, that's silly. She should have just killed me. I never said that.
You know, if you ask me, I'd say she did it.
She did it, 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 I know. With laughter she hung him, and after she strung him, he swung like a yo-yo high-low. The facts are not really surprising, her morals are probably loose. She did it, she did it, she did it, then hid it, and now she is off to the loose. gal.
You can't sleep either? Knowing that someone in this company is going to change my blocking.
You know, I think I saw Georgia and Aaron sneaking around.
Yes. Songwriting teams are always plotting how to do-in the director, and they're all quite mad. You know, I could easily believe that they did it.
They did it, they did it, they did it, they did it. I've worked with those lizards before. They went right ahead and they slaughtered 2 people the same way they slaughtered a score. Well, this is the end of their own twist. Their future is not worth a thing. They did it, they did it, they did it, then hit it, and still they're going to sing, sing. He did it, he did it, they did it, they did it, she did it, she did it, I'm sure she did it, I know. Although he appears with the punch on his head and they slaughtered 2 people, this time she slaughtered a score, I know. It isn't not really surprised, if you just want to probably did it, he did it, they did it, they did it, she did it, she did it, and soon you'll be going to, and now she is off to the who's. Sing on, gal, sing.
Come on, boys and girls, rise and shine. We'll start with the new version of In the Same Boat.
Your breakfast orders are downstairs waiting, and Lieutenant Chaffee is here.
Good morning, folks.
Welcome back, Lieutenant, to your marathon production of No Exit.
Just returned from Sid Bernstein's autopsy.
Did they drive a stake through his heart just to play safe?
Chris! Not in front of his widow! Carmen, how are you holding up?
So, you all sent out for breakfast, and no one thought to tell me!
Well, let's at least be considerate of his daughter.
Stepdaughter. And even though I was his very own step flesh and step blood, he was as cold to me as he was to my mother.
Breakfast is gonna get cold if you don't eat now, folks!
Well, at least this time, all of us have an alibi. We were all standing around the stage when Sidney got killed.
Well, no. The coroner says that someone killed him before you were Horace George's number and then stuffed his body in the curtain. So he could have been murdered with anyone who had access to this stage, including you, Johnny.
What does that mean?
We found a copy of Variety magazine with words cut out of it in the stage manager's office. Your office.
Yeah, well, Chris and Oscar have keys as well.
And it appears you 3 gentlemen are my first official murder suspects.
Well, it's an honor just to be nominated.
But everybody here is still under suspicion. I found this little black book in Bernstein's breast pocket. Each page is the name of a company member, as well as some kind of private notation. Obviously a memo of why Bernstein was blackmailing all of you.
No! Oh, meaning, no, I'm not being blackmailed, but no, I just found more death threats. And they're covered with my fingerprints once again.
Oh, that's all right, Miss Harris. You've already proven yourself to be forthcoming, trustworthy, and just so very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Dear Sidney, end the show or it's the end of you.
Oh, no. Sid Bernstein died for nothing. He told me he was going to close the show.
When did he tell you that?
In his office, right before he got killed. He said someone just that minute had changed his mind about keeping Robin Hood open, and I should save my money for his next Boston show. Then I saw him go upstairs to watch Georgia rehearse a big number, and he gave me back the very last check I wrote him.
Well, you can give that check back to me. I am not closing this show. Come on, Oscar. Let's put this check in a safe place.
Felt very safe in my pocket.
Lieutenant, what's the matter?
Well, it's been troubling me since yesterday. Why is it that Bobby...
What?
I mean, of all the people on the stage, you...
All right, Lieutenant, spit it out.
You should be in the Fort Henderson Square dance number.
Beg pardon?
You'd steal the show. After all, wouldn't Rob Hood go to the big picnic disguised as Alan Odell?
It makes sense.
And Dale Grady of the Globe loved Bobby's dancing.
Do you think you can improvise a short turn in time for tonight?
Sure, but I don't know if I could make the costume change in time for the next scene.
Well, for gosh sakes, Bobby, it's just losing a mask and a bandana. Would it kill you to try?
Oh, we'll time it out now. Johnny, the Fort Henderson Square dance number.
We got it. Fort Henderson Square dance number!
Now we're getting somewhere. And Aaron, for the love of Mike, we gotta have that rewrite you promised for In the Same Boat.
I already did it.
Without me?
Yeah, honey, we rehearsed it last night while you were getting fitted.
To be honest, I think it turned out pretty well.
Well, can I hear it?
Sure. I changed it to a real, He-Man approach. Rob Hood and his men heading up the mighty Colorado. Sasha, a quick chorus of In the Same Boat.
Randy, Harv, help me out here.
If you just wrote it last night, what are the musicians playing?
Well, I wrote a brand new orchestra part to fit the same ones from last time.
Oh, very smart.
I think we've got it nailed. 7, 8.
Here we are, my shipmates and me, lost on a windy sea.
All the planks are springing a leak.
We'd like to bail, but we forgot the pail, and we regret to say our compass is gone, but somehow we still sail on, because two heads are best, as some fella wrote, and what the heck, we're in the same boat.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, believe me, it's a bold attempt, and it definitely has some of that vim we've been looking for, but there's still something missing.
Well, we only had half of our songwriting team working on this version.
I'm doing the best I can.
Excuse me, everyone. I've just had a thought.
Ah, how long we've waited for this day.
If we're adding Bobby to the Kansas Land number, it just so happens he and I have been working on a dance routine that's perfect for my Princess Kickapoo character. And him.
It's a kind of an Apache dance.
It's a pas de deux for two.
Well, it would save us a lot of time if it was ready to go, Bobby.
Well, we've only talked
I promise, Bobby, I won't let you down. I'm ready.
Carmen, Bambi's the spawn of your loins. Yes or no?
Normally, I'd stay over my dead body, but I don't want to give anybody ideas. Sure, let's let her take a shot at it.
Come on, Georgia, we better go tell the cast.
Aaron, I thought you were going to write us a better version of In the Same Boat.
We just played the new one. Didn't you hear?
I did. Aaron, I thought you were going to write us a better version of In the Same Boat.
I'm putting In the Same Boat into dry dock for now.
No, please, Aaron, come back. When you have a new song.
Thank you for the chance, Mother.
It's called giving you enough rope to hang yourself, Elaine. Probably not my best choice of words.
You always make fun of me in front of other people.
Well, perhaps I should leave.
No, Choppy, you have dreams of being in the theater. You should hear this also. Elaine, as a Broadway producer, there's something much more important to me than you getting a star turn.
What?
Me turning a profit. I've never been known as one of those stupid clucks. Elaine.
Bambi.
Who pisses away a lot of her hard-earned bucks. Elaine.
Bambi.
But facing the fact your coloratura stinks, Bambi. Though it breaks your mother's heart, forget about the part. It's time for you to know why I really backed this show. Ask me for my motives, well, you needn't be so smart, it's a business. It isn't making history, it isn't making art, it's a business. Shaw and Ibsen, take them away, and don't bother me with Moliere, those Russians never pay. So go on, criticize me, please proceed with your attack. It's a business. I put 1 million in and I expect 2 million back. It's a business. So what crime have I committed if I'm putting up a fight? It's a business. And I once was paying suckers out there giving me the business every night. Am I getting through to you, Elaine?
I'm sorry, Mother, but to me, the theater is a temple.
So what? It should only be held on Sabbath? Come on, boys, give me a hand. Very funny, you know what I mean. Back me up. The not-for-profit theaters don't need to turn a buck. That's not business.
That's not business.
I give them Mr. Strata and I wish them lots of luck. I do business.
She does business.
Corky, schmorky, money misspent. You won't survive, young Cooper. You'll never get through Lent.
But what about the great poets of the stage?
Honey, I put the Icemen coming and nobody came in. Come on, boys, let's show the lieutenant our lineup. Today's this.
It's a business.
The owners of these premises cleans up if we're a hit. He's in business.
He's in business.
Union members don't work for free. Hey, Harry, on the spotlight, blink twice if you agree. See, I'm not devoid of culture, but my feet are on the floor. It's a business.
It's a business.
You wanna fill the house up, you need a catchy score. That's good business.
That's good business.
Yes, green's my favorite color, but I don't mean on the grass. It's a business.
It's a business.
And the shows I do business. Yes, I'm good at doing business. And if you don't like my business, sweetie, blow it out, yeah. Business. It's a business. And it's strictly business when I say you don't have what it takes, Elaine. I'm sorry. That's my professional opinion, and I don't care who knows it.
Well, I think my dance number could be very provocative.
Sweetie, the only thing you could arouse is suspicion.
Chris, the company's ready to run the square dance.
Oh, joy beyond my wildest dreams. And, Carmen, how many hours do we have left before we're re-reviewed by the...
Daryl Grady of the Boston Globe.
Grady? You're not what I expected, but then I've never actually seen a picture of you.
Well, complete anonymity is a critic's best tool.
Well, I suppose I shouldn't bite the hand that slaps me, but it's unethical to review our rehearsal.
Well, you see, you forget. I report on theater as well as review it. And your show is news. I'm setting aside my customary professional distance to interview members of your company backstage. With your permission, Mrs. Bernstein.
That's free publicity, Carmen.
Normally, I'd say over my dead body. Poor Sidney. He would have died for this publicity. And he did. The backstage is yours, Grady.
All right then, company. The 4 Tittison Square dance number, Bambi auditioning a new section with Bobby.
This I gotta see.
May I? So let us follow the yellow brick road in the wrong direction all the way back to Kansas land. Sasha. Yee-haw.
Come every second Sunday of each month throughout the year, the women folk head out from town to greet the soldiers here.
We bring them home with bills.
Yeah, that's all these ladies share.
There ain't no chance for romance when the dance is strictly square.
Kansas land, in the straw we never stray. 'Cause in Kansas land, it's perfect in the month of May. In Kansas land, don't shake the sassafras. 'Cause in Kansas land, there's lots of splendor in the grass.
There came to old Fort Henderson young Princess Kickapoo, who kept her wigwam warm at night and danced with every Sioux.
My tribal dance is worth the glance. My hips go pow, wow, wow.
when this papoose says,
Let's vamoose.
the soldiers cry.
And how?
Did anybody see anything? Bobby?
I'm bleeding.
Looks like it's just a crease wound. Bobby, how many people knew you'd be leaping when you did?
Well, nobody. I was trying that move for the first time. That was some fancy shooting.
Too fancy. Unless you weren't the person they were trying to shoot. Everybody but Bobby, go back to where you were before the shot rang out. You folks, stay right there.
Hold on. Aren't we all sitting ducks here?
Whoever shot Bobby had plenty of time to fire again if he didn't mind getting caught. Everybody go back to your places. Guys, this barrel was here?
That's right.
So here's where the bullet entered and exited. It grazed Bobby, but may have been intended for you, Randy. Why aren't you wounded?
I am deep down.
Are you usually standing here at this point in the number?
No, when Bobby jumped, I moved to give him room.
Then most likely you weren't the target either. So, still following the bullet's path, the shot must have been aimed at you, Nikki. Were you here when Bobby was shot?
I'm not sure. Is that important?
Well, if you were here, you couldn't have well shot it yourself, and I could rule you out as the killer.
You hadn't ruled me out already, Lieutenant?
Well, wait a second. Bobby, you're holding that handkerchief against your left arm.
Bleeding?
No, but that's impossible if the shot came from there, and you were leaping with your right side to the audience. There's no way the bullet could have grazed the left side of your left arm. Guys, wasn't this barrel facing the other direction?
Oh, I guess we said it the wrong way around.
Yes, so it's exactly the opposite. The bullet was fired from behind the upstage guard tower. It grazed Bobby at the end of his leap, went through the barrel and on its way to you.
Me?
Yup, and here's the bullet.
But that would mean the shot was fired.
By someone on this stage or behind that scenery. Those of you who were backstage, were you with anybody?
Not me.
No, I had to change.
Well, I guess the only people who couldn't have fired the shot were Carmen and Sasha because they were both downstage of... by the way, don't you think Bobby should play his dance much further downstage?
Well, I was planning to have the same idea.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to search everybody for a gun.
There won't be any need for that. Did it?
She did it, she did it, she did it, she did it, that Nikki is tricky and slick.
Stop that! Nikki, what are you doing?
I found it back there. It's an automatic, so I guess it's not a prop in our Western story. At least I won't be leaving my fingerprints on the evidence this time. There's tape around the handle and the, Gosh, I might have killed you, Frank.
Aim me the gun very slowly, Nikki.
Well, I have something to say to whichever one of you is trying to knock me off. Knock it off!
Lieutenant,
Yes, Johnny?
We're way overdue for a break.
Oh, sorry.
Back in 10, everyone. We're clearing the set.
Chaffee, you're gonna protect me, right? There's already been 2 murders committed on this very stage.
3 if you count the integrity of musical theater.
You couldn't be surrounded by more policemen than you are at the moment, Miss Bernstein.
Come on, Mother. We should get you something to eat. If you're nervous, I'll taste your food for you.
You have no taste, Elaine. I've seen your closet, I've seen your makeup, and I've seen your boyfriends. And I've seen a couple of your boyfriends in the closet with your makeup.
You never have a good word to say about me, especially in public. I thought I did pretty good in that last number.
Big deal considering the 15 years of ballet, jazz, and circus training I paid for. I'm sorry, Elaine, but you volunteered for this life. Dyed your hair, changed your name. Why on earth, out of all names, did you pick Bambi?
Because in the movie, Bambi's mother gets shot to death by hunters.
Well, somebody just tried to do that to me, sweetheart. And I see no one's ruled you out. Come on, Oscar. I got the keys to the lobby bar. I'll go make us some Bloody Marys.
Well, despite what your mother says, I thought you did a great job in that Kansas Land number.
Thanks, Lieutenant. I really appreciate that.
No, I'm the one who should be thanking you.
Bambi, your dance really was good.
Yeah, kiddo. Better than I could have imagined.
It's like I told you, Bobby. Just give me a chance and I won't let you down.
And don't listen to your mother. At least no one can claim you're in the show because of nepotism.
I guess that's pretty obvious.
Believe me, Lieutenant, Bambi isn't the girl in this cast who's used personal connections to help her career.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, sorry. A stage manager is equal parts psychiatrist, mother hen, and father confessor. What anyone in this cast shares with me, I consider privileged information. Besides, what I know, Lieutenant, I don't think you wanna.
Why would
Oh, Georgia, there you are.
Aaron, good. Could I talk to the 3 of you about Bernstein's little black book of blackmail? You know, he had a message next to each person's name, with 3 noteworthy exceptions. You, and you. Going by this, Bernstein had nothing on you, yet the production budget says you're getting the same raw deal as everybody else. Why are you toiling for pennies when you could be doing much better elsewhere? No one has anything to say?
Well, can you blame us? If I recall, one of those death threats said, make another sound and you'll end up underground.
Yes. But Georgia, I never read that particular death threat out loud.
What?
Nikki and the late Miss Cranshaw are the only other people in this company who could have read it, other than the person who sent it, of course.
But, well, then I guess Nikki showed it to me.
Well, I told her not to tell anybody.
I didn't, Frank. You told me not to, so I didn't.
Well, then I'm sorry, Miss Hendricks, but I'm gonna have to book you on suspicion of murder.
Hold on a second.
Nikki, would you be able to go on tonight?
Oh, now I get it. You just want to give a little boost to your sweetheart's career.
You know, my relationship with Nikki Harris is purely that of a police investigator and a potential suspect.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No. I'm really liking you, Frank.
Oh, it's reciprocal, I assure you.
I'm very glad to hear that.
I'm more than glad. I was doing something.
Arresting me for murder.
Yes, Jessica Cranshaw's death. Please don't forget what we were saying. Jessica Cranshaw's death gave you the perfect opportunity to star on Broadway. And when Sid Bernstein said he was closing the show, his death kept your chance alive. Miss Hendricks, you're gonna have to come with me.
Wait a second, Lieutenant. I'm who you want.
You're confessing to the murders, Mr. Fox?
You heard what I said.
It's not a simple thing to retract.
Think about what you're doing.
I have. This is a great thing that's happening in your life. I'm not important now.
Very noble. Yet you're on the record as being dead set against Georgia taking this role.
No, I only said that because I knew if she got the part, she wouldn't have time to write with me, be with me. That was the only way I knew to be near her again. That's how Sydney got me to work for nothing. Stuck out of town together, huddled over a piano each night. Who knows what might have happened?
But that's how Sydney got me to work on the show. Aaron, I wanted the same thing.
You did?
I do.
But you and Bobby.
No, forget that.
I don't understand.
I didn't want you to, not until I knew how you felt. But you seemed as preoccupied as ever with your music.
Because our songs were the one place you and I were still together.
Aaron,
You said our songs.
Our songs? Our life? What was I thinking when I let you slip away? Oh yeah, I was thinking of me. Only of me. What was I thinking, spending each moment of each waking day, thinking of me, shutting you out,
Sometimes,
making you wait,
sometimes,
too self-involved to say how I do need you. But why pretend? I miss the music. I miss my friend. No need to wonder what I would do. I choose the music I made with you. I love the music I made with you.
Oh, wait a second, Chaffee. You know how I knew that particular death threat? You showed it to me when you were questioning me, and you were gonna charge me with murder.
Gosh, well, I guess the joke's on me.
Lieutenant, I hereby unconfess to everything, except being a fool.
Aaron, our director needs to see you on the double.
I'm excused?
Go.
I'll see you downstairs. Partner?
Partner. Well, thank you, Lieutenant. You played your part very effectively.
And what a treat to share a scene with you. And a fair exchange, too. You got Aaron to show his cards, and I got to find out why you both joined on with this show.
You and Georgia staged all that?
Yes, it was her idea. A good one, I thought. And you've been playing a part, too, haven't you, Bobby?
I plead guilty to impersonating George's devoted lover.
When I first started the show, I asked Bobby if he could pretend we were involved again so I could see if I could stir up something, anything in Aaron.
Good job.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm so grateful.
You know, just a polite reminder, you're still suspects.
Right.
But, Bobby, I may have found out why Aaron and Georgia signed on to work for Sidney Bernstein, but I still don't know your reason.
I've always wanted to give the performance of a lifetime.
Fooling Aaron into believing you were in love with Georgia?
No. Fooling Georgia that I'm acting. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
Except commit murder.
Even that, if she asked me.
Oh, Frank, why does love make so many people feel bad? The public should be warned that Cupid is armed and dangerous.
Maybe romance should be left strictly in the hands of the police.
Well, if you mean by present company, I'd vote yes on that proposition.
Oh, Miss Harris.
Oh, please call me Frank. I mean, please call me Frank.
May I be bold?
I already know you are.
I never believed in that whole some enchanted evening thing. Until now. The first time I saw you, there was a blue wash over the stage, and they hit you with a pink special. It was
just like a musical, huh, Frank?
I thought to myself, you and I, we could be a tough act to follow. Can't you see special people doing special things, running rings around any pair, anywhere? You and I, we could stay a tough act to follow in every way if you hold my hand and let the music start. Let the curtains part, let the spotlight glow. Gosh, I wish I could do that.
Well, you can, Frank. It's simple, really. Just follow me. Stomp, hop, slap, step, stamp, stamp. Stomp,
Hop, slap, step, slap, step.
stamp, stamp.
Stomp, hop, slap, step, slap, step,
Stamp, stamp. See, you've done this before. Oh, how about a spotlight of your own? Hey, Harry, put him in pink. Oh, looking good, Frank. Looking real good. And with the right backdrop, we'd be a tough act to follow. A tough act to follow. I know.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I sure think I am.
Come on, gang!
Around anywhere, anywhere, you and I, we could stay a tough act to follow in every way. Let the curtains fall, let the spotlight glow.
We'd be a tough act to follow. A tough act to follow. I know.
Stop. Hop, stop, 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 stop. Hop, stop, 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 stop. Hop.
What did you just say?
I said it was just like a musical, huh, Frank?
Nikki, what were you doing just now?
Oh, it's silly.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was imagining that we were singing and dancing together like Fred and Ginger.
So was I. Isn't that incredible? Both of us having the exact same fantasy at the exact same time. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. No, in your dream, who was I?
Ginger.
Me too. And the song we were singing?
Would make for a great opening number.
More like a finale. Would you like to go out?
You won't let me.
I keep forgetting. And I can't make any exceptions, even though you're exceptional.
Oh, Frank, I knew from the moment I first shook your hand that you and I...
Shook your hand.
What?
Shook your hand. Nikki, I think it's time you told me what Sid Bernstein had on you.
Nothing. Really. Unlike the rest of this cast, I want to be in this show. I've got some great reviews here in Boston. This is the closest John I've ever had at Broadway.
Johnny hinted that a woman in the cast was using some secret personal connection to advance her career, and I wouldn't like to know who it was. Did he mean you?
Every show is filled with gossip.
Oh, Nikki, you didn't say no. Who is it?
I made a promise to someone that I wouldn't talk about it. I don't break promises.
You know in Bernstein's notebook? The one with the coded memos? Next to your name, he wrote a great big 0.
I'm glad.
Or it could have been an O.
Oscar, the sandwich you ordered is here. And for crying out loud, Nikki, you have to get into your costume.
Sorry.
Folks, 5 minutes till you're back on stage to learn in block, yet a brand new version of In the Same Boat. Thank you.
Johnny, if Nikki shared some kind of secret with you,
Don't talk near the microphone, Lieutenant. When it is switched on, everybody downstairs can hear you.
Listen, if Nikki kind of shared some secret with you, I need to know what it is.
In what capacity are you asking that? Jealous boyfriend or officer of the law? Can what I say be held against me, or are you going to hold it against me if I don't tell you what you want to hear?
I haven't finished questioning the rest of the cast, and I'm not finished questioning you.
Ben, bring in the storm drop, will ya? Take it nice and easy. I'm right underneath you. Whatever you're playing, it's not from the score of this show.
Come here, my sweetheart. Come here.
Who's that?
Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
Look, this is no time to joke. We've had 2 people die.
Sorry, dear fellow. Didn't mean to put a fright into you. Give us a hand, will you? Trying to catch poor Ophelia here. Been a part of this theater for eons, apparently. Chased a mouse into the pit and got stuck amid the percussion instruments. I'll put her in a basket just down the stairs.
I'm all set here, Ben. Take 5. Q59. Drop in planet Earth. Got away from our genius director again, did you, Ophelia? Come here, pussycat. Don't be afraid. Oh, that's funny. I thought you were... Hey, if you're worried I'm going to tell anybody what I know about you and,
Don't you think we're too easy a target up here in the flies, Lieutenant? Especially with the entire cast rehearsing directly below us?
Nikki found the gun used on Carmen, and I found the gun used on Johnny in the orchestra pit. I'm kind of hoping the killer's run out of guns by now.
But it's been hours since poor Johnny was murdered. For what reason could you have for dragging me up here?
Because you know the most about the technical cues in the show.
And why do you need me?
The last time I talked to Johnny, you were the topic of conversation. I don't want you out of my sight until I figure out his dying message.
Dying message?
Johnny knew his killer. He had second slip. He couldn't write, couldn't speak, yet the bloodstains tell us that he dragged himself all the way up from the orchestra to his call book, where he ripped out one page on which he'd written the words, "Drop in planet Earth."
Well, drop in is simply a term we use for scenery that's lowered from up here in the flies.
Like mountain drops in, skyline drops in.
Mary Martin drops in.
There's a drop of the earth at the end of In the Same Boat.
Being in the same boat. Listen, they're rehearsing the latest version now. Same bloody orchestra part, third new melody. Collect the entire series.
That's it. I think I've solved it. Quick, we need to get down from here fast.
This way, retreat after me.
Frank, are you coming?
I'll be down in a moment.
Be careful, Frank. The killer might realize you're on to him.
And but while I'm up here, I probably should see what's written on the back of this drop. Planet Earth. Nikki? Gee, isn't it funny how you can be totally stumped about something until it just suddenly hits you?
Not bad. We can make that work.
No, this version isn't any better than the others.
This was Chaffee's big idea. Where did he get to anyways?
Yeah, something's not right.
Especially with this song.
I'll tell you what's not right. Singing your merry little heads off when Johnny just died a couple hours ago.
Sydney, Johnny, Jessica, all murdered on this stage. Which one of us gets it next? I'm sorry I asked.
Oh no, it's the killer! Somebody do something quick! No, that's not what I meant!
Hey, excuse me.
Sasha, stop the music!
I think I could use a little help.
Dear Lord, Nicky, you must have pushed him.
Me? Why would you say that?
Because you and I were the only ones up there with him, and I've almost entirely ruled myself out.
Folks, I think I've solved it. Quick, I need to see the music for this number. Hey, what's the Russian word for script?
Skeets.
Really?
Yeah, skeets.
Well, give me the script.
You must have fallen off the catwalk while we were climbing back down.
What the heck were you doing all the way up there in the flies?
Well, I'm asking myself the same question. Nicky, did you see anything up there?
I don't know. It was so dark. I suppose I might have accidentally unhitched a rope or something.
This was no accident, but that can wait. Folks, the answer has been staring us in the face the whole time. Damn.
What's the matter, Frank?
I just remembered I can't read music. But no matter. Basic logic tells me, Aaron, you wrote all three versions of In the Same Boat to fit the same accompaniment, right?
Right.
And if they fit the same accompaniment, they must all fit with each other. That's what'll give this number the kick in the derriere it's been needing. The company singing all three different songs at the same time. It'll make Fugue for Ten Hours sound like Frere Jacques.
But what about the murders?
Oh, will you forget about the murders for a second?
But you said you've got it, that you'd solved it.
Solved how to save this number. Look, I want to run this now. Johnny, bring in the set.
He's dead!
I keep forgetting. Listen, we'll have Rob Hood and the ladies trying to reach the steamboat to Wichita before the farmers lose their land. Is everybody on board with that?
Aye, aye, Captain.
That's Lieutenant. Now, we'll just have Georgia at the top. Sasha? Start it off slow.
Help me out afterwards.
In the same boat, on the same sea, shaking inside as the tide keeps rising. Nary a ship, nary a sail, nary a soul on the whole horizon.
Here come the three pals paddling up the river.
Here we are, my shipmates and me, lost on a windy sea. All the planks or spring in a leak. We'd like to bail, but we forgot the pail, and we regret to say our compass is gone. But somehow we still sail on, because two heads are best, as some fella wrote. And what the heck, we're in the same.
Heading down the river come the damsels in distress.
Tattered and torn, weary and worn, feeling forlorn, now we look untidy, chewing our nails, praying that whales aren't allowed to eat meat on Friday. Still we're not discouraged, due to the ancient quote that you're likely to win. Take it all on the chin when you're in the
But
same
the waves are coming on fast. Third song now.
The seas are usually rough, the going's terribly tough. As if that wasn't enough, we lost it all. We find it all we can do to calm the craft. For the poor little chum, we're so dumb that they don't know if we're from wrath.
Now the pals go rolling round the bend while the lady up the creek comes sailing into view. Let's put it all together. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Here we are, like
shaking inside and keep rising.
Marry a ship, marry a sail, marry a soul on the whole
horizon.
On the way, or spring in a leak. We'd like to bail, but we forgot the pail,
and we are
glad to say our compass is gone.
Showing our
How we still sail on, because two hands are best, as some fella wrote. And what the heck, we're in the same boat, and we're together in the same choppy boat.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You've greatly improved the number as well as the likelihood that I'll take credit for it.
Great work, Chaffee.
I agree with Carmen, but still, what about the killer?
The clue must be in what Johnny gave us. Drop in planet Earth. Earth on this stage, the world on a stage.
All the world's a stage. Shakespeare?
Shakespeare. These are actors, we're all spirits and are melted into air? Yes. That's what Johnny meant. Chris, I did it!
Sorry, I always take credit for everything. What did you want?
Listen, I need to see the final minutes of the show, before Jessica Cranshaw collapsed.
The company bows. That's the last thing we need to be rehearsing.
You think I don't know that? Please!
All right, then. Places for the company bows, people.
And, Russ, I'm gonna need Johnny's microphone. Oh. Hey, Nikki. I know a way to wrap this up fast, but it could be putting you in some harm's risk.
Frank, you do what you have to do.
Folks, I have a little announcement for all the crew and all my men downstairs. Nikki and I just got engaged. Yes, she'll be leaving the show at the end of the Boston run to create the role of Mrs. Lieutenant Frank Chaffee. Now, can we please run this scene?
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Oh, thank you. We're very happy. Now, Carmen, Oscar, and Aaron, you said you were watching from the house that night. Watch for me now and tell me if you notice anything different. Sasha, go.
Wide open spaces, everywhere I look, I see those wide open spaces where the future waits for you and me.
It's so weird to see people taking any bows without applause.
It was pretty much like this on opening night.
Here comes our leading lady.
It's Candace forever, and wherever I may
Stop! You're hard. But what are you doing? You're in the show.
On the bows, I had to quick change into this tuxedo and give Jessica these plastic flowers.
You would put on a tuxedo, grab a bouquet, and then come down the aisle and hand it up to Jessica? And what would she be doing?
Well, she'd be singing.
And did anyone notice anything different on opening night?
Lieutenant, now that you mention it, I think when she took the flowers, she moved her hand to her mouth, like she was covering a yawn.
Or like something had just struck her throat?
When you put it that way, yeah.
I saw that too. It happened right after Jessica received the second bouquet.
The second bouquet?
Yes, she received 2 bouquets on opening night.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the first was from Harv over in that aisle, and the second was from someone over in this aisle. He was wearing a tuxedo, but the flowers hid his face.
I noticed him myself. I just assumed that Carmen hired a second stagehand for opening night.
To boost Jessica's ego? Not a chance.
Well, maybe it was someone who genuinely liked Jessica's performance.
No, I think we can rule that one out.
So that's it. The killer already knew about the bouquet, and on opening night, he came down the aisle with his own flowers, which hid both his face and something as simple as a pellet gun. The killer fired the capsule at point-blank range into Jessica's mouth as she sang, and that's how your star was murdered on stage in full view of you and your audience.
But that means we're all in the clear.
What? No. Not everyone was on stage at the moment, Nikki. Where were you, Mr. Belling?
Taking a walk alone, as you darn well know.
Aaron, you said you were watching from the house that night?
Right, and like every other man on opening night, I was wearing a tuxedo too.
And I'll swear, I was standing beside him the entire time, Lieutenant.
I'm sure you would. Oscar?
I was sitting in the last row of the orchestra. I think Carmen would have noticed if I got up out of my seat and headed toward the stage.
That's right.
That's so very right. One person had the perfect opportunity and a powerful motive.
Chaffee! Somebody hit me!
But if that's Bobby, who is this?
Your devoted admirer, Nikki. Determined to bring down the curtain on Robin Hood. Because if this show went to Broadway, you'd forever leave his sphere of influence. A sphere represented by the circle next to your name in Bernstein's Black Book. A sphere represented in the clue that Johnny gave us. Drop in planet Earth. Or as Shakespeare put it, the great globe itself. The Boston Globe and its senior critic, Daryl Grady.
Careful, Chaffee, or no one will ever want to see her face again.
Easy, Daryl.
Easy for you. You're going to marry her. I heard you say so to the house PA. She loves you. She never loved me.
Frank, I swear I didn't know.
Yeah, but she did know you, didn't she, Daryl? You shun publicity. Your picture has never been published. Yet yesterday, she walked right up to you to thank you for the compliments you paid her.
I asked her not to tell anyone we knew each other so that I could praise and proclaim her in my reviews.
He was just a friend, giving me advice. It was never more than that.
It was more than that to me, Nikki. I needed you to stay here, where I could hail you and guide you. But this infernal musical is going to Broadway no matter what I wrote about it. That's what Sid Bernstein said.
But watching the show in previews, you saw how to guarantee that Jessica Cranshaw never went to Broadway. As a critic on opening night, you were able to rush from your seat to the lobby, where you'd stashed a bouquet, come down the aisle, give them up to Jessica, and be the ultimate showstopper.
Yes, and I tried to shoot Carmen and sandbag you the same way I posted closing notices for Jessica and Johnny. An imperfect performance on my part, but one learns from one's mistakes. Right, Nikki?
Daryl, I see you're out of guns. Just how far from this theater do you think you can make it without one?
Good point. Set your own gun down for me.
Oh, wait,
now.
What do you think you're doing?
Just don't hurt her.
No, please.
Get back.
Daryl, I'm going to take Nikki away from you now.
You already have.
Frank, don't.
Take one step closer and you're dead. Fine. You're dead.
In situations like this, I always find it best to unload the gun in my holster. I take all the bullets and I put them into this gun. Come here, Nikki. Mr. Grady, you're under arrest.
Oh, man. Could my life get any worse?
Those men a musician!
Detective O'Farrell.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can and will be used against you in the court of law. Let's go.
folks, since you're all witnesses to Mr. Grady's confession, I'll need you to head downstairs and give a brief statement. After that, it's only a few hours before your new opening night. Sasha, play them off.
Hey, Bobby, you okay? You need some help?
I think you know, maybe I do.
Well, it's like I told you before. Just give me a chance and I won't let you down.
Hey, Chaffee, if Robin Hood is a hit, I have you to thank. If you ever want anything nice, like a vested suit and a gabardine, just drop by my showroom. Anything for you, Lieutenant. 10% off.
It's funny, suddenly I feel a flock of butterflies coming out of hibernation in my stomach.
You don't have too long to go chasing those butterflies. You both have a lot of work to do before the show.
Yeah, lots of unfinished business.
Before and after the show.
Any additional notes before we raise the curtain, Lieutenant?
Actually, yes. Nikki and I did have a dream of an idea for a new finale.
Well, I'm sure we'll be singing a different tune if you think that we should. Oh, and bravo, the great detective.
Bravo, the great director.
Well, you couldn't have done it without me.
Frank, I didn't have a clue about Daryl Grady.
I had more than one, and it still took me a while to figure it out.
Well, now that the mystery is solved, is our engagement over?
Well, maybe we could talk about that after tonight's performance. There's this coffee shop where I'm on very good terms with the management.
Frank, we have a date.
Are we excused, Toby?
Sure. Those for Danya.
Well, another day, another triumph, Lieutenant. See you back at the station.
Congratulations, Chaffee. You put life into a show that was dying, and now they put Grady away for life.
Well, I had a lot of help, especially from you.
Me?
You and your daughter. I told you how much she'd shown me in that Fort Henderson Square Dance number of hers. She was great.
Better than great.
Uh-huh. Finally, to hear you say it. You had me as flim-flammed as everybody else until I saw how good she really was and turned to see the pride in your face. You tell everybody that it's a business, but I found you out, Carmen. You are the stage mother of all time. You married Sid Bernstein, put up with all his affairs and shady deals just to get your daughter on the Broadway stage. And so that no one could accuse her of getting there on your coattails, you've always belittled her talent in public, even if she hates you for it.
Please don't tell her. I want her to think she got this all on her own.
You're amazing.
But how did knowing that help you catch Grady?
Oh, it didn't. I just explained why you murdered your husband.
What? Grady killed my husband.
No, Grady killed Jessica and Johnny and tried to kill you because he wanted the show closed, but that's exactly what your husband was going to do.
Well, then he was killed by someone he was blackmailing.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have taken that little black book with them? He must have told you he was closing the show.
He didn't tell me he was closing the show.
Well, he told Oscar. Why wouldn't he tell you? You were his partner.
Because the partnership was over. He himself a conniving little ingenue and sat in place, and I was out in the street.
So he didn't need you.
He didn't need anybody. Grady promised him rave reviews for his next 3 shows if he shut this one down. Now.
So he did tell you.
No.
Then how did you know the terms of a deal he made with Grady just seconds before he died if you weren't the last person to see him alive?
He laughed at me. No more shows, no more dreams. After all I had to take at him, he laughed at me and Elaine like we were nothing.
And?
And I killed him.
Of course you did.
So, what happens to me now, Lieutenant?
On impulse, you lashed out at your blackmailing, unfaithful husband when he told you your daughter wouldn't get the chance for which you'd sacrificed everything. A decent lawyer might get you a couple of years on a reduced charge. A great lawyer might get you an all-expense-paid vacation in sunny San Diego. But you'll have to stand trial.
I understand.
You know, why don't we build your daughter's part up some more? Add a song or 2 for Nikki, and maybe I don't solve this part of the mystery until after the show opens on Broadway.
Frank, Give me that, and I'll let you walk me out of the cast party at Sardi's and straight into police headquarters.
I'll have you watch night and day until then.
I understand. You know what, Shafi? I think you're one of us. There's a special kind of people known as show people.
We live in a world full of dreams. Sometimes we're not too certain what's false and what's real, but we're seldom in doubt about what we feel.
Lieutenant, your experience with assault, I think Bobby may need some first aid. He's a bit wobbly on his feet after being hit in the head by Grady.
Let me take a look at him.
But we've only hours before the curtain goes up, and I'm afraid he may not rise to the occasion.
Of course the show will go on. The cry of places, everyone, is like smelling salts to any trooper. The sound of the orchestra playing its overture will be pure adrenaline. His aches will be bathed in the warmth of a spotlight, and his spirits will be lifted by the hands of an adoring throng whose applause will sustain Bobby right through the very last scene of Robin Hood.
See those wide open spaces, I know that Kansas is home.
Why, he shot that other bullet in half!
Look! It's Rob Hood!
I wonder what face belongs to those lips I long to kiss.
This face!
Why, you're Alan O'Dell, that friendly lawman from the East I was so crazy about. I thought you were all done with us.
Not when I found myself a home, people I can trust, and keeping company with the ones I love.
You came to us a stranger, rid this place of crime, and gave us a new hope within ourselves.
That's gonna be one tough act to follow.
Well, how's this? Will you be my lawfully wedded wife, Miss Nikki, Nancy?
Oh, yes, I will!
You and we could stand a tough act to follow in every way.
If you hold my hand and let the music start, let the curtain
true. But whatever you do, don't reveal her